I'm sitting here with Hallie Tessendorf with Dana Whiting Law in the Trust Admin and Probate Department. And as you know, my grandpa recently passed away, and so my grandma is alone for the first time in her life. What are some issues that she might be looking at or is facing right now?
Yes, that's a great question, and I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather. When there's a surviving spouse, there are, a handful of issues that they may deal with that they haven't experienced previously. The first is, where will I have the money to pay for the things that I need right now? There are often times where one partner has managed a lot of the finances and the other hasn't. Another question they may have is, okay, am I going to be okay in the long run financially? And then the third is, what happens when I pass away? Do I have everything set up? So when we're meeting with clients who've just recently lost a spouse, those are the three topics that we want to talk with them about, and just make sure from the beginning they feel like they are being cared for in good hands and they're not alone through this process.
Yeah, that's great. And to your point, my grandma has never managed their finances at all. So what are some of the questions that she should be asking when she comes in for her first meeting?
I think when we talk about, and you may have seen our other videos about buckets of assets, but there are a handful of buckets that we put assets into. One might be jointly owned assets, and that, if that's the case, so we're asking all these questions. Do you have your name on accounts? Because we can help you go there and just make sure that you're still getting access to these accounts. You still have the chance to pay your bills and those automatic drafts are coming through. Or are you a named beneficiary on an IRA or a life insurance? Okay, well, let's help you figure out how to collect that. Do we just have a house in your name, or is it in a trust? And that might take more time. So the first things we're really talking about is, how do we make sure things continue on as normal, business as usual? And then after that, how do we set it up so that they have control if they want it? If they want help, they have help. We can hire a fiduciary, we can bring in a child. We kind of take the steps of what's next. And then ultimately, once the wheels are running and everything's going smoothly, let's set up, make sure your estate plan is updated.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be most helpful. Like when my grandma comes to you and you can just kind of explain those things to her, she'll really be able to feel like she is going to be taken care of. She has someone there to help her out, hold her hand through this process. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.